Guys, what's going on? This is the fish tank. Okay, so for all those people who's just getting started in ARK, I want to help them by finding a way to make it through the first night. That's our goal for today. Everybody's going to have different preferences on where they want their spawn region. I prefer the south side because there's more docile creatures to tame at first. So that's first tip. Try to stay around the coast, not the inland coasts as the rivers, as I find a lot of harmful things here. Please forgive the bad graphics, as recording doesn't really like to work with my computer and this game at the same time. So first actual tip once you're in game, find a safe place. We're going to look for some berries to collect. So we're going to get back to the mainland, stay around the coastal area. Once we get over there, we're going to pick some berries. So now that we're more back to the inland, as that was where we was, we're going to start picking some more berries, and I'm going to have us be picking berries to start yourself off in ARK for a very particular reason. One, you're going to be able to eat them for food. You're going to be able to have their juice for water. And narco berries is how you tame creatures. Now there is a few creatures you will not need a narco berry for, but anything that has any serious level to it or size, as the bigger creatures usually require more, you will need narco berries to make narcotics, or just use as the narco berries themselves to keep them unconscious after you have knocked them out. And without this, trust me, my first time playing, you will not get a creature. So we're going to collect as many narco berries as we can. And the first creature I'd recommend getting is a dodo bird. Obviously not for any fighting capabilities, not for how much they can carry, but for how quickly you can get one, which can then keep your berries stored better. Every creature and ARK stores berries and meats better than your body does. And considering how long it can take before you get any type of preservative other than a creature, having a dodo bird at the beginning of the game to store your meat or your berries in can be very valuable to staying alive in this cruel game. So we'll collect as many of these as we can, and I'd recommend collecting them until you have at least your first level. As you can see by the arrow upwards with the plus symbol in it, that is our level meter for all people who's completely new to the ARK. Once that reaches its max, you will have leveled up, and then you get to pick your points on what is increased. Dilophosauruses, I know I didn't pronounce that right, are acid spitters, so stay away from those as you begin. Try to stay around the coast and do not venture too far off. The game's regions that spawns you normally don't put you around too many large predators, but every now and then the coast will hold raptors, multiple Dilophosauruses, Sarcos, and those are not the creatures you want to start off with. So now that we've leveled up, and I use the controller, so this is going to be different than some people. For me, I'll hold B and then go down to show inventory. I'm going to pick health for my first thing. And then for the engram points, I would like to make a hatchet and a campfire. That's the first things that I would like to make. And other people might disagree, but I feel like those things are going to be very valuable throughout the entire game. And you're not going to get by without them unless you have tribe mates, which I also play offline just so I don't get griefed. And those are two things that you will need, as they are two engrams that will acquire for later things like a furnace and a metal hatchet. So we'll collect a few more, and then we're going to find, before our berries start spoiling, okay, make sure there's no other animals around, as we don't want to get attacked because we don't have any defenses yet. We're going to knock them out. And it's a very crude way of doing it, but you'll just use punches for now. You'll put berries into them, and you'll put the narco berries in them. The torpor right here, it's at 42 out of 46. When that reaches 0, they'll wake back up, and it will continuously go down until they are awake. For herbivore animals, once their food reaches, yeah, it's 30, below whatever their actual max is, they will eat again. And a carnivore, after it reaches 50 below, will eat again. Every time it eats, it will gain a little bit of taming, and there's also taming effectiveness. The higher the taming effectiveness, the more levels they will gain from it. As you see, our torpor will be down before they will fully be tamed. That's why the narco berries come in. If you click on the narco berries, you can remote use item, and it took me forever to find this out. But if you click on the remote use item, it will actually feed it to it as a force feed. And narco berries, as they are narcotics, will help keep them unconscious. We're going to throw 2 more on there real quick, because we need this guy. Okay, we're going to collect some more berries as he's going. Never leave your animal for too long, and always make sure you take note of how fast a torpor is depleting compared to how much they have. For a small animal like this, they usually don't have much torpor, and depending on how fast they deplete, like a compy will deplete very fast. A dodo is mildly fast. You want to make sure you are within a close proximity so you can get back to them and continuously keep them unconscious so they can finish taming. Otherwise, you will lose the animal and all your progress. And if you have any items in them, so say for example, my 9 tinto berries will all be lost. We're going to keep some more berries in there because if he doesn't have any berries to eat, and narcotics or narco berries do not count, then he will start losing taming. And once his taming's all the way down, you'll have to start from complete scratch. Don't forget, if you have miho berries, they are actually a faster taming berry than any other berry. Now you can use vegetables which you can grow in crop plots later, and you can also use the animal's favorite kibble. But if you don't have those to use, a miho berry or mijo, however you'd like to pronounce them, are the fastest method. Now while your animal is taming, if you have the time in between raising its torpor back up and feeding it, it is wise to try and use your time to collect other resources, especially this early in the game, which is what this whole guide is about, trying to get you started on your way in the ARK. So as you see, I can still see my animal. I am still collecting other resources, and I know he's not going to wake up just yet. You always want to go back and check on him, this way you don't lose your progress. And he's actually about to wake up. And you have your first dodo. First things first, I'm going to give him my berries. This way they keep longer. And they'll also keep him fed so I don't have to keep remembering to. It's especially important to keep your narco berries upon any animal you might have, especially one that you think might not die by a random enemy. This way they don't spoil on you. Because as you can see, it's still 19 minutes before the next one spoils. They only spoil one at a time. If I keep it back on me, it's only 5 minutes. So I will keep them all on there. This way it quadruples the time before I have to collect more. We're now going to gather some more berries. This way we can eat some and keep our hunger fulfilled. And then once we have that, we're going to try to get some wood. This way we can build a hatchet or an axe. You actually have to build a pickaxe first, this way you can gather flint unless you are online and have a friend who can make flint for you. You get flint from picking at the rocks. You can eat the seeds for now, but later it's going to be very wise to save those to plant. We're going to make sure that our little Ted is following us. And now we're going to try to get some wood. There we have it. We have 1 wood now. We're going to go to our craftables, and we're going to make a pickaxe. This early in the game, you're not going to have much meat, so you're going to have to be very careful on what food's going where. We're going to get our pickaxe out, this way we can get some more wood, along with some flint. Now that we have some more wood and flint, we're going to go back to our craftables, and I highly recommend making a new stone pickaxe. With this stone pickaxe, we're also going to equip it to our toolbox, our toolbar. This way we can gather as much wood as we need to for a fire later after we get some meat. Every player might not agree with this as being the best starting method, but this is just to get all the newest people to ARK started on the first night, as we do not want to see our food go down, and if we was in a warmer climate to where it was not cold right now, our food would actually be lasting a lot longer, and that's why we're having to eat so much. Now after we get fed, we're going to go look for an animal to kill, this way we can have our first fire. So we'll have a campfire ready. Campfires cannot be picked up after you make them, so it's very recommended that you don't place them if you are low on resources and want to move to a different location. But in dire need, they do keep you warm, and they do let you cook your food upon them. Now in the oceans and the seas there is much coal, fish, but there's also mega piranha. So it is not highly recommended to go in there to eat or to fish for food. If you stay along the sides, you can usually find some sort of dodo bird or other very docile creature. This early on, I would not recommend fighting Dilophosaurus until you at least have a spear you can throw that does much more damage. And again, this is why I highly recommend getting a dodo bird as your first creature. This way you can have the dodo bird carry around your food, as nothing else is going to be easily tameable this early on. Now, well, after we get a few more levels in, we're going to be able to make a spear and a club. A club's going to let us knock out a creature faster, and later we can make a slingshot. Once we have a slingshot, we can start getting more vicious animals, but until then, it's the safest bet. Let's go, Ted. To just go ahead and get a dodo bird to start off with. We're going to steal some of our berries back as we are so hungry. The next one I'm going to use it on is stamina. We want a spear, and after a few more levels we're going to get stuff to make a foundation, a roof, wall, door frame, and door. This way we can... Thought I heard a bug. This way we can make other things as well. I'm not going to get the club, as I'm going to wait for the slingshot that will unlock at level 5. This way I don't have to get near the creature, and I don't waste the engram points. I will, though, go ahead and use one to make a shirt. This way we can stay warm since we are in a colder climate. If you happen to start off in a warm climate, you might want to wait and save the engram points for something else. But for me right now, it makes a lot of sense to go ahead and make some sort of clothing, especially with night so close. So make sure you stay well fed, get whatever you need to make at least a spear to survive the night, and stay close to your dodo bird with as much food as you're going to need throughout the night. If you can, I'd recommend making 2 spears, one to throw and one to still have on you. If you cannot do, you will survive, but it's much safer to have the 2 to survive the night. I also highly recommend going ahead and making a torch and then equipping it. This way you can see throughout the night. Then find a nice and cuddly space to wait out the night. And that's how you stay alive for the first night in ARK. Good luck. If you have any other questions, just let us know. If you have anything else you want us to cover in starting out ARK, we're going to be doing a series on how to do and what to do as you're starting out your ARK journey. I hope you guys love this game. I know I am. I am now level 48, I do believe, and I am loving this game on my main person. If you need to know how to save and backup saves on the PC and go through, and if you want to know how to go through and have different profiles, just go to our how to backup saves on ARK on Fish Tank, and it explains how to have multiple save files. And then just put them in different folders, and you'll have different save files to use for your ARK experiences. Let us know what you think, and let us know what else you want to see. Later, guys.